Welcome back to part number 24 of my Imperator Rome playthrough as Rome. We just got back from a series of long warring escapades in India. A couple of, I think, 4 back-to-back wars, 3 truce breaks against India, a couple of wars against Dravidia, a lot of timely tribal against the Sumpa, could have broken up into a myriad of tribes. So we're sort of making quite a bit of headway relatively timefully without the imperial conquest. We're annexing or integrating 667 here. This one is integrating 635. And these armies, rather than mull about and wait, I have an actionable claim here. And I'm going to wait just a moment for the month to tick over. And then I believe we can include our allies in the war. This is good to go. And let's do it. So the more AE we have, the less we'll take. We have a 60% decrease at this point, with 10% for bellicose. We have the 20% war score. We essentially take nothing at this point. So we may as well carry on. We have a fair stability. It's trending down, but not quick enough to make a difference for us. I'm moving these armies here over to engage Avernia as well. I have a 1 claim there. That's all I need. I may well declare that right now while these guys are in the house here. They'll probably divert right there. We don't need to be on the border. We'll just do it. That way these guys don't traipse all the way back here, and then they have to turn around. So there we have that, and I'll be back to you with the disposition of those wars. Boom! Hasta! La vista! Really though, Alvernia, I didn't know he was affiliated with so many. Remia, it looks like Eborovicia, and one other smaller here tribe or whatnot. This is a slaughter. It's a slaughter of a higher order, really. It's it'd be almost comical to show it, but it's egregious, really. I can tell what the reason. 4 Miltech versus the 17, and then tribals and all of our other traditions, and it's really ugly. All of these as well. Boom. Alright, so this area is generally clear. I'm going to move these forces, what there are of resistance, to deal with this lot here. There's not many. And then I think there's a claim against this power and works. How goes these wars? Exceptionally well. Right, these wars are going well. Alvernia is completely occupied. His ally here is almost completely occupied. We're working on Remia. I noted there's quite a bit of war score here, maybe over 100. So I need to annex this as well. There's a separate peace agreement that it makes the separate peace optional as of 27 October of 34, about a year and a half out. So I'm gonna a separate peace here because it's coastal, and in order to separate peace here I need to establish adjacency, and I just happen to have created a claim here about 50 years ago. And this lot here are all of these are going to be triggered along with Morinia, and we can annex Morinia and company here, Nervia specifically, to gain adjacency to Remia in order to annex it in a separate piece. So that is exactly what I'm going to do right now. We just had a claim hit against Bedunincia here. So let's declare that war immediately. Let's get these out of the way here. Who are his buddies? Okay, just these guys, these small tribals right there. We have quite a few cohorts in the area. And who are you now? I see. Boom. One more. We can peace out, I think, up here as well. Boom. We're adjacent to Remia now, so we have to wait until October 27 of this year. Agduxia down. Boom. I think we can piece out that Iberian War here. Okay, it looks like we can sue for peace at this time. I'm not exactly sure as to why, but I'm not really worried either. Let's do this for Remia. That's an ally. It should have been October. Again, I'm not worried about why. And that would leave, I believe, just Avernia and you. Let's peace out with you. And you. Do we have 4? Let's check. We've done that. Oh, I see. Okay, we need 8 now. We need 4, but we only have 6. It looks like an equitable arrangement. He has territories here in the British Isles. We'll leave that there for later. Now, who are you now? We'll close that out as well. Boom. So, that's the end of that war cycle. Let's stand these levies down. I think there's a levy out there. Assign some governors. I'm going to move some pops into the enemy's former cities, and then I supersized our aqueducts here in our own cities, so we have quite the capacity ready to accept these excess pops from these areas here. They should be Roman by and large. Not really, but they should be Hellenic. They sort of are. Well, they're more loyal than not, as well we know, because they do have some Romans and Hellenes in there. I also note our Recitia is going to annex 636 about 2 years or thereabouts, or something like that. He's quite the prolific city builder. He's he certainly didn't start with that many, but he did spend his PI wisely. So I'm going to have quite a few cities in here to suck up all of the various tribals and such, or the various slaves, because he's not a tribal, but from the countryside into the cities where I can create loyalty buildings for them. So I'm going to do all that, and almost immediately, surely, maybe burn down some aggressive expansion and then start another war. Alright, I took a look at some of the loyalties here, and they're not exactly pretty. It's not exactly as bad as all that either. 0.18 down. It's going to get worse. This is up because it's been Hellenized, I believe, from our former vassal. The stability is ticking down by 0.35, 10 months, that's 3.5, say 3 years is about 10 or 11 or whatnot. I think we have another 3-year war cycle in us, definitely, before we need to stand down. This aggressive expansion is at 90% right now, and then we get our, 10% and 20% bonuses and such from our wonder and bellicose stance. There are others as well. That'll essentially leave us with no aggressive expansion for continuing to war, and that's exactly what I intend to do. We have an actionable claim here against Markomania, and Seminonia and Faucia will trigger as well. I figure we can annex this whole lot even under the main war goal. If we peace out with Markomania, we should be able to take all of it, as it's going to be it looks to be well under 100 war score relative to what the swath we just were able to take from Alvernia. I'm going to declare here as well. I think it triggers essentially everyone who's left over here in Iberia. We'll get these guys on a boat and up to this area. I think there's a actionable claim here as well. We can sew up that area. I have claims in works. There's a claim here already probably 100 years old. I believe there's probably one in works here against Luonia, 9.18%, not exactly well along, but it'll get there. We have one going up in Gothia, Cathonia, and Lucia is almost done here as well. As long as we're there, we're going to be in Markomania warring. Once that's done, we can take Tricasia, this tiny little tribe there, Mediomatricia, and Treveria here as well. I plan to do all that. We don't really need to be perfectly positioned. All we need to do is get the ball rolling. Let's do exactly that. This scorn is just one of those things where this family is showing his scorn, but you note here that it doesn't have any characters that can be given office, so we'll just have to wait. An automatic promotion or adoption event will occur at some point. Let's go ahead and declare this Markomania war as well. Looks good. Our claim against Lucia just popped. Let's just do it. Our vassals and such are in the area, so we have other options available. Let's get the ball rolling here. Boom! 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 0.15 AE. We're essentially 100% occupying Markomania, except for this challenging war he's in with Bohemia. Luckily, we'll beat him to most of the territory. He seems to have taken this. He's sieging down our fort here as well. Oh, look at that. He seems to have wandered off. Well, good for me. Anyway, I think it's a decent enough time to declare war here as well. Start that siege rolling along. And our vassals or our armies or some such will sort it out. He's unaffiliated. We'll have this guy begin that in earnest. We can peace out now with the Iberian effort here. Let's move all these guys up to get on board this fleet and leave this area. As for these two, we'll just have to wait. So these wars essentially over. Can mop these up at the same time. I'm mopping up Dravida or the former Majorans. I believe these are still affiliated with the Prachians. So where to go with this fleet that was the units that were mopping up or conquering the Iberian tribes? I think we'll go up here and attack Trinovantia, I believe there's a claim available there. He's affiliated with this tribe here, who seems to be at war with various sorts. Looks as though he's been occupied by a horde, is what it is. This guy is not at war with anyone. No civil war coming on looming. We'll go up there and do it. 6 stability for 10 PI. I'll take it. Boom! This army has arrived. Let's do this war. It said this anyway. We'll just get these guys unloaded. Carry on. We can peace out here and pick ourselves up a wonder. I think it's mildly useful. It has some tribesman benefits and tax and commerce. Let's piece this Lucian war out here. I'm going to pivot these legions down here to Noricea. Peace. We're adjacent to Faucia now. We'll take Faucia as well. Which puts us adjacent to Seminonia. This is a short overdub. We're gonna do it peace out with one of these powers. Tribal up here, I believe Seminonia. But we need to, I believe, to establish some adjacency or peace out with the whole lot. There's some problem there. I think I worked it out, annexed it, and now we are ready to carry on with the rest of the episode. Okay, so I pieced out that Marcomania and company as well as this former tribe there. We're pretty deep in getting to Germania, Scandia, etc. These legions have arrived adjacent to Noricea, at least close enough to where I want to declare this war immediately. Wow. The declaring is good. Looks as though he's allied with this small tribe there as well, and we'll just do it. We got that 6 stability event, so we're still hovering around 30. And the loyalties are, by and large, holding their own. If not rising, really, yeah. So, how do the loyalties go in these provinces? Not really as bad as all that. Again, let's see, I've been sort of spending some money where available and sort of kind of moving some pops into these cities that I've been creating, but then there's no money available for it. But there's quite a bit of capacity on the way here to suck up the various pops from the countryside and get them into a freeman status where those should be happier than not in that city. So the freemen in the cities should be happy, at least one would hope. Freemen, 50% there. There's no negative malice for being in the countryside. Like if you go, I think, to this barracks here. Now he's happy as well. Settlement minus 15%. So it's not really all that bad, the 15%, but it's better to have them in cities. This one, the loyalty is slightly rising, so that's what I'm doing. I have my +2 urban planning capacity, and we have a serious amount of additional +6 buildings due to the city, our great wonder, and then the urban planning. So these cities can house a great many inhabitants here. 166 in Narbonnesis and counting. I suppose I have 5 more aqueducts going up there. We have plenty of food. And these freemen there are surely happy. If I can find one, there he is. 97%. The war in this T tribe there is going well. We're getting into his ally up here. We'll close that out and probably deploy here to Valonatia. There's no claim. There is, though. 80% done. There's a claim in the works here as well. Essentially all throughout. We're here. We have one in Gothia. I just filed one in Bastarnia. There's one going in Luonia. 80% done as well. We should be able to peace here. And will. Those claims just hit. They are immediately actionable. There's no reason not to do it. We have taking essentially no aggressive expansion for all this annexation, and these provinces are again generally sort of loyal. Let's do it. Another 5 stability event. We could have taken 48 PE for 10 stability loss, but that's a bad idea. 100% occupation Noricea. Boom. I need to, this fleet is going to dock here. These units here get on board. We're going to declare war on Voluntia. That's going to trigger a great many of these Taxilia and Damnonia here. We're looking at a roadblock here to finishing out the game 669, the integration of Phanagoria. At the pace we're going to be done here by, well, in a short order. What is going to affect that? Really the only thing that can affect it, I believe, meaningfully is changing our stance to a domineering stance. Once we're finished with all this conquest, it'll get us a 0.25 integration for what it's worth. And then we have some technologies on the way that are going to hit 1, 2, 3, and 4 or thereabouts at some point, unless we get some breakthroughs. So we can go here and then get diplomatic rep 2, and then another, and then +3. So that's 6 more. It'll add a 0.3 speed on top of that, and that's really all that can be done. Alright, with that war closed out and Resitia annexing very shortly, August of this year, so essentially 2 months out, I'm going to stay away from this area until I can figure out what's going on, maybe raise some more legions, or really not. Just get some claims going here against these 2 tribes. I have one in works here. So we're done with this area for a while. I have 2 mercs and 2 legions proper force marching over here. These guys, let's see, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 legions or mercs and such. Here I'm going to get this ball rolling once this lands. This war goes well enough. Let's get moving. I have a sufficient number of units here to subdue these tribes that I'm at war with here. As to going further, there's, I think, 1 or 2 perhaps legions proper headed up that way from the former Norican front. And let's get these guys on board. And moving over towards our war goal here, the Volantia. Defensive League Peace Agreement. Boom. We'll take all these families. Resitia just integrated, so they're Roman Hellenic. We'll take all of them. Let's see what we have here. Quite a bit of Hellenism about. Some Romans interspersed there. And let's check the loyalty without... we have a governor there already, plus it's already essentially positive certainly due to all the Hellenism that has been going on for the last 100 years or whatnot, the conversion auto-tick from formulatic worship. I'm going to populate these cities as best I can and carry. I see. Now that might actually be a real one, as they probably captured one of our vassals, prisoners or generals or whatnot. Will certainly not pay, that's for sure. This effort here is essentially done. These two legions are sieging down these last two forts. I have this legion redeploying this way. This legion is on the way. There's a fat legion here on its way up as well. I'm going to trigger Gothonia, and then this lot here as well, I believe, will be along for the ride. Lugia, Livonia, and Syria. We've arrived here. Let's trigger, let's get this ball rolling here as well. Who do we end up with? Taxalia and Demnonia. No negatives. It's on. Let's piece this out. Our vassal was kind enough to build temples and theaters in most of these cities that we see here. If there's not a build sign going up, that means he's already built a temple and a theater in the area. So now we've just, I just condensed as many pops to the cities as possible. Again, it's very loyal, at least at present. We've arrived generally here. Let's do it. Get the ball rolling. Let's peace out. Peace. That leaves Gothonia and Syria here, and well, this is a little bit more involved. There's a fort down here that needs to get sieged to completely piece this war out, but I'm not going to do it based on the timeliness of wanting to bounce into Demonia. We'll just get that fort on mop-up detail. It's right here. There it is. So what are we looking at? Not a lot left. This integrates again. 669. I think that should do it for this episode. I hope to see you in the next one.